Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Dom Toretto family. Their ridiculous missions, bringing Han back from the dead, putting Ramon and Tez in a Pontiac with a rocket strapped on it. Send them on an adventure. They can boldly go where no Toretto has gone before, into outer space. No matter how ridiculous it looks. Fast 9, the Fast Saga, directed by Justin Lin, the man who directed Tokyo Drift, and he directed Fast 5 and some of the other Fast and Furious movies. This movie brings back Vin Diesel as Dom Toretto. We got Michelle Rodriguez back as his wife Letty Toretto. He has a son in this movie, a little boy, who he named after Paul Walker's character, Brian. And our villain is Jacob Toretto, Dom's estranged brother, who he has never mentioned in any of the other movies. Because that makes so much sense. And we bring Han, the guy from Tokyo Drift, back from the dead. Because we can do that since our characters are like invincible superheroes. In fact, Ramon mentions this, Tyrese Gibson's character, within the movie itself to try to break the fourth wall and try to make the movie be more self-aware. Try to do a Deadpool approach. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work with this movie. Oh man, this movie was so ridiculous and stupid. Now I am somebody who does like the Fast and Furious movies despite how ridiculous and how crazy they get. And I do know that out of the 9 or 10 movies that we have in this franchise, there are a couple that are considered to be bad movies. 2, 4 are considered to be pretty bad. But I do mildly enjoy those movies. From time to time, I have a guilty pleasure for them. Even though I don't like the Tyrese Gibson character, to be honest, I find him a little bit annoying at times. But I do think that Ramon and Tez make a good pair, and they do have wonderful chemistry. And the whole family in and of itself has great chemistry. That's one of the things I really like about the protagonists in these movies, is that they have a great chemistry and they really work well off each other, despite the ridiculous adventures that they go on. But I honestly think that this franchise should have ended after Paul Walker died. I think they should have just let the franchise end after the previous movie. Don't do any more movies, but of course Vin Diesel, Dom Toretto has to continue to do more movies because this franchise continues to make money and he likes playing the Dom Toretto character, so he wants to make more and more and more movies until he eventually dies. And until the rest of the characters die, probably. No matter how ridiculous they get or whatever, and have Hollywood squeeze as much out of this franchise as possible. In this movie, we find out that Dom Toretto has an estranged brother named Jacob, played by John Cena, who doesn't even look anything like him. The only thing that makes it look like they are brothers is their chin. That's so stupid. And Han's back from the dead, the guy that died in the Tokyo Drift subplot. When you find out how Han survived that explosion that you can see clearly died in, it is so stupid, it is so dumb. I wonder what was the point of even bringing him back from the dead. I understand you're trying to find a way to fill the void that Paul Walker has left behind, but if you're going this far to try to fill this void, perhaps you shouldn't even try. But they're going to try to fill the void anyway. They have to find some way to continue this franchise. Jacob, John Cena's character, wants to take over every computer in the world, make himself into like a human Skynet, I guess, or something. So he gets these computer components together, and he needs one more component, which is why we're bringing Han back from the dead. Apparently, he is in possession of this last component necessary for Jacob to do his evil plan, and it's up to the Toretto family to try to stop him, to the point that they have to send Ramon and Tez into outer space in a Pontiac strapped to a rocket that they get from the two guys from the Tokyo Drift movie to do, because they are now rocket scientists. And you have Tez saying, as long as we stick to the laws of physics, we'll be able to do this. You guys haven't been sticking to the laws of physics in any of your previous movies. Have they seen the ridiculous stuff that they've done? And now you want to bring the laws of physics in? Really? In this movie alone, we have Dom Toretto and Letty driving their car off a cliff like Tarzan. They're doing a Tarzan jump with their car. That looks so stupid, but you just go with it because of all the ridiculous stuff they've done in the past. Oh man, this movie was just nuts. It was crazy. So let's get into the positives and negatives with this movie. Now first off, I love Vin Diesel as Dom Toretto. I think he's a great character. I like Michelle Rodriguez in these movies. I like the fact that they brought Dom Toretto's sister back, Georgina Brewster. She's back in this movie, Mia. And I like Tez and Ramon, even though Ramon can be very annoying. There are times where I think that Tyrese Gibson is not really that good of an actor, but bad acting is fine within these movies. This is the Fast and Furious franchise, so I don't mind the way he acts in these movies, just as long as he's not playing Green Lantern John Stewart, which I know he wants to play. Keep him away from that role. Get a good black actor to be that character, not Tyrese Gibson, please. And not only did they bring in the two actors from the Tokyo Drift movies, but they've also brought in the hacker that is dating Tej as well. And in order to add some more technical stuff into it, let's have an electromagnet in this movie for some scenes to create some cool action. Why not? When you see that electromagnet be used, it is pretty cool, but at the same time, it's very ridiculous, and it really makes the movie jump the shark even more so than what the franchise has done before in the past. And of course, if you've seen the trailer, or if you've heard from other people who have seen this movie, you know that there's a point in the movie where Tez and Ramon are talking to each other. And Ramon says that he believes that these characters have become like superheroes, and Tez just says, no, we're just lucky. No, you're invincible. You're basically superheroes, and there's no point in even caring about whether or not you're going to get out of these situations. We know you're going to get out of these situations. Now, the chemistry that these characters are famous for having, it's still there. They still have that great chemistry there, and I really like that. I like the family dynamic between Dom and Letty. They're great together in the movie, and I like the scene where they have to hide their son in a little box area in order to protect him for a short period of time. That part was pretty cool. Although I kind of wish that scene was used a little bit better. But here's what I don't like about this movie. First off, our villain, played by John Cena, I think he's becoming a pretty good actor, despite my perception. Sometimes I think John Cena as an actor, really, but he's doing the best he can a lot of times with these movies, with the movies that he's in. But other times, I feel like the conflict between them is not very good, and it is a bit underwhelming. And Charlize Theron, what the hell is Charlize Theron doing in this movie? Why is she even in this movie? She spends the majority of this movie in a box. There's no reason for her to be in this movie. You could take her out of the movie and the plot wouldn't make a difference. If you want to call what they're doing a plot. So I don't know why Charlize Theron is in this movie. I feel like she was wasted in this movie. What the heck here? So overall, I really didn't like this movie. I want to like it, but I just don't. The movie is just too ridiculous. It doesn't do a good job of making up for the fact that Paul Walker is not in this movie. And I really think they should have just ended the franchise after Paul Walker died. It's not worth continuing the franchise. I don't even know if I want to see Fast 10 when that movie eventually comes out. And they do have an after credits scene to try to hype you up for the next movie, but I don't know if I really want to see another movie in this franchise, really. Despite how good the trailer is going to look when that movie eventually comes out. I feel like I'm done with this franchise right now. So I'm going to give this movie a D. I really didn't like this movie. I want to like this movie. There are some good things I think you can get out of this movie, but honestly, at best this movie is a rental, but I didn't like this movie enough to give it a good rental rating, so I have to just give it a D. I just feel like that's the grade I want to give it. And that's all I gotta say for Fast 9, the Fast Saga.